Okay.
Okay. All right, so what do we want to do?
Well, I can see that I think Anne is adding stuff to the document right now. I think.
Yeah, I was just changing a little of my wording,
Oh, okay.
reading through and editing myself.
Why don't we just go ahead and do a quick read through with what we have, just to see time-wise where we are.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and time it. So, okay, Anna, whenever you want to start off, go for it.
Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the Pakistan Research Group's Roundtable discussion. Today's topic, women's rights. Our panelists are Sarah, Janalee, Charlie, Whitney, and Norman. I'm Anna and I will moderate this discussion. In 7th century Arabia, women had little, if any, rights. Men had as many wives as they wanted, and their wives were seen as property. Daughters were often slaughtered to avoid another mouth to feed during scarcity. Muhammad's writings and example changed all that. In early Islam, women played an important role and were given many rights. Muhammad's first wife, Khadijah, was the first Muslim convert and was treated as an equal. During her life, I'm going to say she was his only wife and was the first woman to wear the hijab. Muhammad subsequently married only one woman who was not a widow, Aisha. Fatima, one of Muhammad's 4 daughters, is still a very revered woman in Islam. More recently, Benazir Bhutto was influential as the first female prime minister of Pakistan. Islam is an important part of the day-to-day life of Pakistanis, and Pakistani culture relies heavily on its influence. Charlie, how does Sharia law limit the rights of women in the Islamic State of Pakistan?
While Sharia law covers virtually every aspect of a Muslim's life, there are some very restrictive areas pertaining to women. Under Sharia, women may only have one husband. He may have up to 4 wives. In marriage, she is submissive to wife beating is permitted. Women are denied inheritance. In some places, they are not allowed to drive, and if they are allowed to be out in public, they must be escorted by a specific male, and even that has its limitations. The list goes on. It is Islam's extremists that take the opposite view of Muhammad, that Muslim women are forced to cover and hide themselves in public, where women are pushed into a second-tier status, and where stricter interpretations are enforced.
University of Chicago professor Lala Bakhtiar stated, "The oppression does not come from Islam, but from laws made in many cases by Muslim men." However, speaking of women, a verse in the Quran says, "And the men are a degree above them." Norman, how does a typical man in Pakistan view a woman's role?
As you can imagine, men in Pakistan view women's roles differently. The most influential factor is the man's level of religious devotion, with the more devout following a stricter interpretation of the Quran's teachings regarding the roles of women in society and the home. The 2013 Pew Research study was very enlightening into today's views and opinions from men in Pakistan. For instance, 88% of men surveyed mostly or completely agreed with the statement, "A wife must always obey her husband." In the same survey, only 23% of Pakistani men felt that a wife should be able to divorce her husband. Some people may conclude that it is men who are restricting women's rights, but interestingly, The same research found that Muslim women aren't always more likely to support greater freedoms for themselves than their male counterparts are. On the question of whether it should be a woman's right to decide whether or not to wear a veil, in 12 of the 23 countries, including Pakistan, where the question was asked, Muslim women voiced greater support than Muslim men.
Janalee, what is currently being done to improve women's rights, and what kind of opposition is being faced? Janalee? You're on mute. I guess I'll just wait until her mouth stops moving. I'll start again. So we cannot hear you, Janalee.
Go ahead to the other question, and I'll read Sarah's part.
Okay. Read the purple part. I cut a little bit out of it. But
Right.
Sarah, who would you consider to be an influential woman in Pakistan today, and why?
Malala
I have no idea how to say that.
refused to let the door of opportunity shut to women in Pakistan. She would not be silenced and fought for her right to an education. A few days before her 18th birthday, Malala returned to Oslo to attend the Oslo Education Summit, insisting that all children worldwide have a right to education. In general, women are very determined and goal-oriented. Malala is globally known as a child rights activist. Her passion and dedication for helping women stand firm in society is very inspiring, and her efforts have changed the public's perception about women. Following Malala's example, many women are beginning to explore the word and share their talents. Aside from nurturing their children, many women are also serving their countries, and many others are entrepreneurs. These women, with both large and small careers, are helping to motivate younger girls and teach them about hard work and success.
Whitney, what do you think the current legislation and Malala's influence as the voice of her generation will do for the future of women's rights in Pakistan?
I see a few changes that will happen. Pakistan is the second highest country that lacks education. In 10 or 20 years, I believe it will change. If you're familiar with Malala Yousafzai, she is a Pakistan activist for female education. The youngest ever Nobel Prize laureate. She has stood out and has made a difference. She will play a huge role in being an influence. Yes, education will grow for women in Pakistan. Yes, Malala is the future of Pakistan. In an interview with America Network on CNN, Malala said that she would hope to one day become Pakistan's prime minister. Malala is Pakistan's future. She has already changed the voice of education. She will be the face of the youth and the next generation while she builds a quality education system in Pakistan to ensure a bright future for the youth. She is running an orphanage in which the orphans are getting quality education, thus enough these social services. She is trying to serve humanity without any discrimination of these efforts. Have created a better image of Pakistan in the world. Malala Yousafzai is a role model for everyone, and all students are encouraged to think like her and make Pakistan a prosperous and developed country.
Though there has been though the past has been rocky, we look forward to a bright future where women will be respected and revered, and we look to Malala and the others of her generation to usher in the advancement of women's rights in Pakistan. Thank you for joining us today. How are we doing for time?
Okay, so the first part down to the end of mine was 3.5 minutes, 3:29. I don't know how long Anna's is. I mean,
Okay, so I recorded with Audacity, and unfortunately I didn't stop it for when we had the pause, but there's a good chance that we're right at that 6-minute mark.
well,
Yeah.
I started it again after when they read Sarah's part, and it was 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So that means we're at, without Jenilee's part, it was more than 6 minutes. 6 minutes and 15 seconds without Jenilee's part.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we would guesstimate hers would be about a minute and a half.
So we're way over.
How long does it have to be?
Way over.
And
5
we-
minutes?
Between 5 and 6 minutes.
Okay. Oh, I can shorten mine for sure.
And we could probably take out that if you're familiar with the Malala part, but then you leave the part that she's the youngest ever Nobel Prize laureate. I think that's
Yeah,
good.
that's what I was gonna pick out if I had to.
Yeah, it's one part.
Yes, saying yes, Malala. If anything, I can take out. I don't know. Do you want me to take out the part where she wants to be prime minister?
No, leave that for sure.
Okay.
Definitely leave that. We could take out the orphanage part.
Okay.
That's current.
You guys see Sarah on here?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
on. Hi, Sarah.
Can she hear us? I wonder.
Apparently not.
Hey, you guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Echoey, but yes. Just
Sorry.
mute your other one.
I recorded our whole thing, including me. It took 6 minutes and 21 seconds.
Okay. I went ahead and cut my, I can take off the last part of mine because it really just talks about women. I just threw that in there because I just wanted to kind of make the point that it's maybe not all the men's fault. Women kind of support, wearing the veil and staying at home. But we can take that out.
Okay.
That's probably a good move. Well, you just took out a lot, Norman. Oh. Oh, I guess we couldn't hear Sarah and she left us, huh?
Guess so. Oh, she's back.
She's back.
Oh.
There, we can see her. Hi.
Hello.
Huh?
I've been getting your video.
Yeah, because I used your. Oh.
Don't answer it because that means we don't.
Well, anyways, I took out
what?
a part of mine, so now it's a lot shorter.
Oh, she's on here.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
That's because I signed in as you because your Gmail was up and running, and this computer isn't recognized. Since it's a new computer, it's not recognizing mine.
Oh. Well,
So
can
I'm
you
using
change that?
my phone. Yeah, I changed it.
Okay.
It's
Because I
just
got your project on my
instead of
email.
videoing me, it has a picture of me. So they can hear me. They can hear you.
Okay. Cool. Hi guys.
Okay, so this is Charlie. I recorded it with the Audacity, and I think it sounds good. So we definitely have that as an option.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to go, Audacity.
Great, then let's do it.
I researched several other ways and asked my husband, and we worked on it for a while, my daughter, and we worked on it for a while, and there's a reason Audacity has been
Right. So
so.
So here's what we need to do with it. The couple of suggestions that I would have when we're reading is if you guys can just make sure you speak loudly and clearly.
Okay.
But I think that as long as we can do that, I think that it will work.
Okay. Do you want to try it again?
Yeah, if we want to do another run, we can try it again.
I know
Let's
mine's a little more than 45 seconds.
let's check Sarah's audio. Sarah, why don't you say something?
I just joined, and no one is responding to what I say. So I don't know what is going on.
I can hear you, Sarah. I can.
Okay.
Okay.
I can hear you. You sound softer, but I can hear you. And it's wonderful to have you join us. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
So yeah,
What
we
was the way
can.
to- What have you guys done so far?
We read through it one time just to see how long it took, and it's a little bit longer than it's supposed to be. So we're trying to maybe take out anything that's not real important as far as the topic or the answer to the question.
Well, I think mine is not so long. It's cool.
Okay.
Probably I think you could make changes with Whitney's. I think S is a bit longer. Yeah, Whitney's own is a bit longer. And I think Hannah had a lot of portion as well. So maybe we could just do some elevations and try to see if it will reduce the number so that we could get the actual recording that we need.
Yeah, Norman just reduced what he's going to say. So now we're probably going to be at just the right timing.
And I reduced mine as well, so it should be at least 20 seconds shorter.
Good suggestions, Sarah.
Okay.
Do you want to try reading through it again and have Charlie record it?
Sure.
It's good practice whether we go with it or not.
Right. Okay, so Anna, whenever you're going to start, just kind of give me a 1, 2, 3, go. And when I record, that'll help get the most accurate timing on it. Sound good?
Hey, Anna, before you start, maybe, I don't know if we need the good afternoon, because who knows when somebody's going to hear this, so maybe just start off with welcome to the Pakistan Research Group. That'll cut a couple seconds off.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I was waiting. My husband's making a ton of noise, so I didn't want you guys to hear him using tinfoil in the kitchen right next to me. And just so you know, I am nursing my baby at the moment, and she may make a little noise as well. It's better than her screaming, which is what she was doing before. So
Okay.
I'll keep just chin up on the camera. Okay.
Maybe we should mute our microphones when we're not speaking. I think that will help with the audio quality.
I agree.
Good suggestion.
But just be ready just before your part. Maybe when she's asking your question, then go ahead and unmute it.
Okay.
Oh, can I ask pronunciation of the name Khadijah? Is that right, do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I learned it by reading, not by hearing it. So,
As
okay.
long as you're confident saying it, the audience won't know.
True, true. All right. So, Charlie, when you're ready.
Okay.
All right. So, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Pakistan Research Group's roundtable discussion. Today's topic: women's rights. Our panelists are Sarah, Janalee, Charlie, Whitney, and Norman. I'm Anna, and I will moderate this discussion. In 7th century Arabia, women had little, if any, rights. Men had as many wives as they wanted, and their wives were seen as property. Daughters were often slaughtered to avoid another mouth to feed during scarcity. Muhammad's writings and example changed all that. In early Islam, women played an important role and were given many rights. Muhammad's first wife Khadijah was the first Muslim convert and was treated as an equal. During her life, she was his only wife and was the first woman to wear the hijab. Muhammad subsequently married only one woman who was not a widow, Aisha. Fatima, one of Muhammad's 4 daughters, is still a very revered woman in Islam. More recently, Benazir Bhutto was influential as the first female prime minister of Pakistan. Islam is an enormous part of the day-to-day life of Pakistanis, and Pakistani culture relies heavily on its influence. Charlie, how does Sharia law limit the rights of women in the Islamic State of Pakistan?
While Sharia law covers virtually every aspect of a Muslim's life, there are some very restrictive areas pertaining to women. Under Sharia, women may only have one husband. He may have up to 4 wives. In marriage, she is submissive to him at all times and has no rights. Wife beating is permitted. Women are denied inheritance. In some places, they are not allowed to drive. And if they are allowed to be out in public, they must be escorted by a specific male. And even that has its limitations. The list goes on. It is Islam's extremists that take the opposite view of Muhammad, that Muslim women are forced to cover and hide themselves in public, where women are pushed into a second-tier status, and where stricter interpretation.
Speaking of women, a verse in the Quran says, "And the men are a degree above them." Norman, how does a typical man in Pakistan view a woman's role?
The most influential factor for men regarding how they feel about women's rights is their level of religious devotion, with the more devout following a stricter interpretation of the Quran's teachings regarding the roles of women in society and the home. The 2013 Pew Research study was very enlightening into today's views and opinions from men in Pakistan. For instance, 88% of men surveyed mostly or completely agreed with the statement, "A wife must always obey her husband." In the same survey, only 23% of Pakistani men felt that a wife should be able to divorce her husband.
Janalee, what is currently being done to improve women's rights, and what kind of opposition is being faced?
Pakistan continues to be the center of a clash of cultures. On one side, 2013 marked the appointment of Pakistan's first female judge. The Chief Justice called it a historic oath-taking ceremony that shows that Pakistanis are an enlightened people. On the other side, legislation to ban child marriages and protect women from discrimination and violence was struck down as the Council of Islamic Ideology said it was anti-Islamic and blasphemous. In June 2016, former President Asif Zardari condemned this action by the CII, calling them bigots for suppressing women in the name of religion, and called upon the people of Pakistan to fight against such a mindset. Regardless of who prevails, this type of struggle between the religious and the secular is fated to continue.
Sarah, who would you consider to be an influential woman in Pakistan today, and why?
Okay, I will consider Malala as an influential woman because Malala refused to let the door of opportunity shut to women in Pakistan, so it could be open to all to be silenced and fought for the rights of education. Besides, few days prior to her 18th birthday, Malala has returned to Oslo to attend an education summit, insisting that all children worldwide have a right, a right to education. Women in general work tirelessly towards their goals until they achieve their goal. Malala is globally known to be so much interested in child's rights activities. However, Malala's passion and dedication to help women stand very firm in their society was very inspiring. Her efforts, possessions changed public's perception about women. With all the help Malala offered to her country and the examples she offered, it has brought light to many women to explore and show the worldwide they are talented. Aside women nurturing their children, there are many also serving their countries and others are entrepreneurs. There are many women with great and small careers which, which keep motivating young girls growing up to also work hard.
Whitney, what do you think current legislation and Malala's influence as the voice of her generation will do for the future of women's rights in Pakistan?
I see a few changes that will happen. Pakistan is the second highest country that lacks education. In 10 and 20 years, I believe it will change. If you're familiar with Malala Yousafzai, she is a Pakistan activist for female education. She has stood out and has made a difference. She will play a huge role in being an influence. Yes, education will change for the women in Pakistan. Yes, Malala is the future of Pakistan. In an interview with an American news CNN, Malala said that her hope went to one day become Pakistan's prime minister. Malala's Pakistan, she has already changed the voice of education. She will be the face of the youth in the next generation while she builds a quality education system. Pakistan to ensure a bright future for the youth. Malala Yousafzai is a role model for everyone, and all students are educated to thinking like her and making Pakistan prosperous and developing country.
Though the past has been rocky, we look forward to a bright future where women will be respected and revered, and we look to Malala and the others of her generation to usher in the advancement of women's rights in Pakistan. Thank you for joining us today.
We are at 7 minutes.
Oh boy.
Yep. But while you guys discuss that, I'm going to mute you guys and mute my microphone and listen to this for a minute and see how it sounds. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep dumbifying mine down. Mine can be wordy, so I'm gonna keep shortening it.
Okay, I think Sarah's is like 2 paragraphs or so. I think we need to consolidate some of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would.
I think what we need to do is we need to have, and we can do this individually, we don't need to do it in a meeting, but we need to probably read our section and make sure it is no more than
45 seconds.
40 or 45 seconds. We have plenty of stuff we can add back in if we need to, get over the 5-minute mark. I just don't think that's going to be our problem.
Okay.
And can you hear me?
Yeah.
Or Charlie, can you hear me? I just am wondering how I can get access to edit our Google Doc.
I granted access. You should be able to do it. Anybody with the link can access it.
Yeah.
So I see you
I
on
can
there.
access it. I'm
So, Charlie, again, I'm back. I'm sorry to interrupt. I couldn't hear any of you. The Audacity recording sounds fantastic. I was a little bit worried about Sarah because she's quieter, but hers even came through really, really well. So I think this is going to be a great way to do this.
Awesome.
All right.
I'm gonna, if we are gonna do another read through, I don't know if we are. I'm gonna read an edited version that, since I can't seem to make corrections on our shared document.
Are you Jessa Wood?
Yeah.
It shows that you're able to do it.
No.
I don't know. That's weird.
It had me request and ask if I could have access, and I requested access, but
Here, try now.
Okay.
I just turned off the ability for everybody to edit and then turned it back on. So hopefully cost you in that.
If it helps, I'm looking over Sarah's paragraph. Agree with me if I'm wrong. I just thought maybe taking out the last two sentences would help.
Okay.
Aside
I'm trying to do some editing.
with all of this. Sorry.
Okay.
If you can see that. Aside from women nurturing their children.
Yeah. Awesome.
If that helps you, Sarah. If you want to keep it, go ahead and keep it. I don't want to tell you what you can and can't keep. So, if you're comfortable with taking that out, it could actually be just good too.
Okay, all right.
And just to help shorten yours. There you go. Yeah, and it'll still sound great without it too. So.
Can you stop taking out my headphones for me? Please?
You guys have done quite a bit of cutting out. I'm scrolling through. I'm like, wow, half of Norman's is gone.
Yeah, I just deleted more of a bunch of my stuff too.
Wow, that should make a big, some of that should make a big difference. I think another thing is making sure that we're right on with answering the question. I mean, some of the pauses I can edit out, but we can just be right there with answering right away. That will help too.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still editing?
I think, yeah, I think Janalee is finally able to.
Yeah, I'm done editing.
Okay. Janalee, are you still
Maybe a
editing?
highlight, possibly a highlight and delete.
I'm thinking about
Just
deleting
cut
that.
it.
What do you think?
Take it out. And instead of saying on the other side, however, is a much shorter word.
Right.
And that part in red, the reason why I wrote it like that was because I wanted to be like, oh, just yesterday, this was said. But
Yeah, that's
who
why
knows
I
who
changed
when they're gonna listen
it.
to this? So I don't know how to.
Well, when I actually did it for our recording,
Mhm.
I had read this and I was writing a paragraph when you were typing this in the Google Doc. I don't know if you saw my note on the side there.
Oh, I didn't.
Um, but so that's why when we did the recording, I changed the first phrase to in June 2016
Oh,
instead of
that.
saying on the eve of Benazir Bhutto's would-be 63rd birthday.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. All right, where are we at? Is anybody still editing?
I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done.
Are you done editing, Sarah?
Yes, I'm done.
How about you, Norm?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, do we want to do another read through?
Actually, I need just a minute, if that's okay. I'm gonna go give her back to my husband.
Go for it.
Okay, that's fine.
They'll make this easier than typing over her. Okay, so I'll be right back.
So I think it made a huge difference for sure when all the microphones were muted when you were not reading. So if we can make sure to keep track of that again through this one, there's a lot less static noise.
Okay.
Then just make sure to keep track of the script. So, a couple of sentences before you're up, go ahead and unmute your microphone so that you can begin speaking right away.
Okay.
And Sarah, if it's possible, if you're able to speak up just a little bit more, just be a little bit louder, then that will just make your audio sound a little bit better.
Okay, all right.
Cool. I'm excited though. I'm glad this is working. We found a way to be able to do this easily.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, she wants to so bad. She's crying, but let's do this. Okay, so you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes,
Hold on
ma'am.
just a second. Let me get this.
Finger poised.
Okay, I should be ready to go.
Okay.
Let's make sure everybody's microphones are muted before we start. Sarah, can you mute your microphone?
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then just a little bit before she reads your question, just unmute it and then you're ready to go.
Okay, Charlie. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Pakistan Research Group Roundtable. Today's topic, women's rights. Our panelists are Sarah, Jana Lee, Charlie, Whitney, and Norman. I'm Anna, and I will moderate this discussion. In 7th century Arabia, women had little, if any, rights. Men had as many wives as they wanted, and their wives were seen as property. Daughters were often slaughtered to avoid another mouth to feed during scarcity. Muhammad's writing and example changed all that. In early Islam, women played an important role and were given many rights. Muhammad's first wife, Khadijah, was the first Muslim convert and was treated as an equal. During her life, she was his only wife. Muhammad subsequently married only one woman who was not a widow, Aisha. Fatima, one of his 4 daughters, is still a very revered woman in Islam. More recently, Benazir Bhutto was elected as the first female prime minister of Pakistan. Islam is an enormous part of the day-to-day life of Pakistanis, and Pakistani culture relies heavily on its influence. Charlie, how does Sharia law limit the rights of women in the Islamic State of Pakistan?
Sharia law covers virtually every aspect of a Muslim's life, and there are very restrictive areas pertaining to women. Under Sharia, women may only have one husband. He may have up to 4 wives. In marriage, she is submissive to him at all times and has no rights. Wife beating is permitted. Women are denied inheritance, and in some places they are not allowed to drive. And if they are allowed to be out in public, they must be escorted by a specific male, and even that has its limitations. The list goes on. It is because of Islam's extremists, men and women, that Muslim women are forced to cover and hide themselves in public, and why stricter interpretations are enforced.
Speaking of women, a verse in the Quran says, "And the men are a degree above them." Norman, how does a typical man in Pakistan view a woman's role?
The most influential factor for men regarding how they feel about women's rights is their level of religious devotion, with the more devout following a stricter interpretation of the Quran's teachings regarding the roles of women in society and the home. The 2013 Pew Research study was very enlightening into today's views and opinions from men in Pakistan. For instance, 88% of men surveyed mostly or completely agreed with the statement, "A wife must always obey her husband." In the same survey, only 23% of Pakistani men felt that a wife should be able to divorce her husband.
Jana Lee, what is currently being done to improve women's rights, and what kind of opposition is being faced?
Well, Pakistan continues to be the center of a clash of cultures. On one side, 2013 marked the appointment of Pakistan's first female judge. However, legislation to ban child marriages and protect women from discrimination and violence was struck down as the CII, or the Council of Islamic Ideology, said it was anti-Islamic and blasphemous. In June 2016, former President Asif Zardari condemned this action by the CII, calling them bigots for suppressing women in the name of religion, and called upon the people of Pakistan to fight against such a mindset. Regardless of who prevails, this type of struggle between the religious and the secular may be fated to continue.
Sarah, who would you consider to be an influential woman in Pakistan today?
I would consider Malala as an influential woman because she refused to let the door of opportunity shut to women in Pakistan, as she fought for a right to education. Women in general work tirelessly towards their goals until they achieve that goal. Malala is globally known to be so much interested in child rights activism. However, Malala's passion and dedication to help women stand very firm in their society is inspiring, and a profession change public perception about women. With all the help Malala offered to her country and the examples she offered, it has brought light to many women to explore and show the world they are talented.
Whitney, what do you think current legislation and Malala's influence as the voice of her generation will do for the future of women's rights in Pakistan?
I see a few changes that will happen. Pakistan is the second highest country that lacks education. In 10 or 20 years, I believe it will change. If you're familiar with Malala Fawzi, she is a Pakistan activist for female education. She has stood out and has made a difference. She will play a huge role in being an influence. Yes, education will grow for the women in Pakistan. Yes, Malala is the future of Pakistan. In an interview with American News CNN, Malala said it was her hope to one day become Pakistan's prime minister. Malala is the Pakistan's future. She has already changed the voice of education. She will be the face of the youth and the next generation. While she builds a quality education system in Pakistan to ensure a bright future for the youth, Malala Yousafzai is also a role model for everyone, and all students are encouraged to think like her and to make Pakistan a prosperous and developed country.
Though the past has been rocky, we look forward to a bright future where women will be respected and revered, and we look to Malala and the others of her generation to usher in the advancement of women's rights in Pakistan. Thank you for joining us today.
We did it. We're at 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh,
Perfect.
Kyla, let's just hand it in.
Good.
All right. It's awesome. I think it sounds great.
I'll put it into a document to turn in if you'd like me to.
We definitely need to clean it up.
Do you want to have each one of us individually clean up our own before I do that?
Probably.
What do you mean by clean up?
Well, unless I'm seeing an old version, there's still like the red at the top.
Grammar, like simple stuff.
Yeah, I think we just need to go in and just do, just a couple simple little.
So how about we do that? Should we do that? Would you go through it and just kind of hash it out together? And then I'll retype it without any of the colors and turn it in.
I'm going to put that link at the bottom, the one that was at the top. It's all the way at the bottom because we need to add that to our bibliography.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh.
That's
I'm
why
confident.
I was leaving it up there.
Oh. I'm confident editing mine on my own to make it look good. If you guys need help, I can help.
The only thing I would tweak in yours, Whitney, is your second sentence where it says if you are familiar with Malala.
Take that, if you're familiar with, I'd take that out.
Because since Sarah was just talking.
We were just talking about her.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the Pakistani activist for female rights.
Okay.
Or female education has stood out. That word out right there. It made a difference.
Huh. Yeah, and then I can go in and just make sure all my grammar is good and.
Mm-hmm.
Malala, Pakistani activist for female education, stood out and has made a difference.
Yeah.
That's another sentence, so you want to kind of divide that with a semicolon right there? Right there? What do you think?
Yeah, that actually.
Okay.
Sorry, yes. I'm just reading it.
With Sarah and Whitney, do we want to say Malala's last name more than once?
No, I'm going to take her last name out in mine on the last paragraph or sentence.
Okay.
We don't need to hear it multiple times. We already know her last name.
Okay, so I did a little bit of grammar editing in Sarah's. Anybody else can feel free to see if there's, and just kind of like where there were maybe multiple words where it could have been knocked down to one word. just that stuff. So feel free to take a look at that and see if anything else needs to be done.
It looks like, yeah, what I noticed earlier has been tweaked already, so that her paragraph looks good now.
Mhm.
There's so much more to say about what's currently being done. I mean, I could put so much in there.
I know how you feel. It's hard to like pare this down to really
I'm
the
tempted to
basics.
put in one more sentence, but I guess I just need to leave it the way it is, because unless I put something like on one side, I just would like to mention Benazir Bhutto. On one side, Benazir Bhutto has been prime minister, and in 2013 marked the appointment of Pakistan's first female judge. I kind of would like to put that in there.
I did mention her as the first female prime minister of
I
Pakistan
know,
in the beginning.
exactly, and that's actually what gave me the idea. And it, oh, that's right. What I was thinking is just mentioning her name in addition to Benazir Bhutto.
Oh, that would be good.
The
Okay.
reason I say no is because she's a past, like she's dead, and yours is a was sorry. What is and
Sure,
what
10 years ago.
Good. Okay, I'll leave it out.
is currently being done.
You're right.
And so I don't think, and then of course, we're trying to cut, so I don't know. It's right. It's hard. We all have it. I mean, my like beautifully researched research has been knocked to like a minimum amount of
Right.
sentences. It's very sad because I feel like I didn't do anything. But I think that that's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
So we're all feeling the exact same thing, for
It
sure.
might, because Sarah and Whitney are kind of a continuation of my question, I would feel comfortable, it would feel less choppy. Oh, what are you doing with that sentence? What would you like to do with that sentence, Anna?
Oh, I was thinking, cut it out. I'm not going to hit
Oh,
delete, but if you
okay.
want to delete it,
Um,
it's up to you. I'm sorry, I wasn't going to delete it on you.
Oh, Jen Lee's like, what are you doing?
But just because Whitney's going to talk about the future, so
yeah,
right
right.
here,
So
like the
what I
struggle
kind of
continues.
wanted to say is something like Anna, Sarah, and Whitney will shed more light on this subject, or something like that. And then maybe I could say, Sarah, would you consider, who would you consider to be an influential woman in Pakistan today? If I said that, it might.
No, let's not change it up.
Okay.
I'm tired. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired. I'm not interested in. But if it's a good idea and other people think it, then obviously I'm not the only person. But yeah.
I'm going to take out the name Aziz, though, Janalee, because that hangs you up every time, because it's a weird word, Aziz. I just deleted it.
Great idea.
You can just say Zardari. what if you said, regardless of who prevails, I think this struggle may be fated to continue.
Yeah.
Like you're putting your thoughts about onto it, and then I can say, I agree with you, and then Sarah. It doesn't really flow from that to that.
I don't understand the sentence, Sarah and Whitney will shed more light on this subject. They're talking about Malala.
Well, it's
Aren't.
because the subject of what's being done currently,
What
and then they
if-
talk about what Malala's doing now to help women.
What if we swap Sarah's and Janilee's sections? What if I say, who would you consider to be an influential woman in Pakistan today? And then Janilee, what is currently being done to improve women's rights? So then Whitney's actually jumping back to Malala instead of putting this section first. Does that make sense?
Hey, Sarah, you're back.
I would have you repeat what you just said about Sarah's and Janilee's so Sarah can hear it. Because
Yeah.
she's back.
I'm thinking maybe we can swap Janilee and Sarah's questions, the order of them, so that it flows. So we're talking about who's influential now, then we're talking about what's happening now and what's happening in the future. Instead of what's happening now, who's influential now, what's happening in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so just switching the order. I think that
Yep.
sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to just cut and paste, so don't touch them for a sec. Janilee, your section's gone. Okay, there we go. I just want to freak you out. So that just changes the order a little bit, but in doing that, I think it'll flow from like present to future. Just one to the next. So you say, regardless of who prevails, this type of struggle may be fated to continue. So when I say, Whitney, what do you think current legislation and Malala's influence as a voice for Malala's influence?
Yeah, I don't see a
will do for the
problem with
future of
switching it. So.
women's rights in Pakistan.
Sounds
But
good.
emphasize the word you because we just heard from what Janilee thinks. Now we want to see what you think. Does that flow a little better?
I
Yeah,
like it.
sounds good.
Awesome.
Well, you guys are totally recording. It's now worthless.
But it was really good.
Oh, man.
Oh, as you can see, I didn't bother matching her jammies. She's got pink cheetah print on top and Batman symbols on the bottom.
She's so cute.
Caitlin, you want to say hi? She can't hear you.
All right. So we have a couple options. We can totally be done, or we can record one more time and not have to meet on Saturday.
I'm going to vote do it now so you don't have to do it Saturday. Since we're all here.
We are all here.
I second that vote.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
What do you think, Sarah? Are you able to do it one more time?
Wait, did you want to be up on?
Oh. Yeah.
Does that
I think
answer?
maybe hers freezes and she has to log back on to get the audio.
Yeah.
She had
If
to
she
turn her
logs back
video
on.
off. Turn her
Yay.
camera off. Actually, what if we all turn our cameras off?
Hey,
That makes it
Sarah.
even easier. Unless you guys want to see my baby. She just totally tooted.
Sarah, are you okay with recording it right now instead of Saturday?
Okay.
You're doing over there. It's driving me crazy.
Somebody's cell phone is buzzing.
No, it's Jess's.
Sarah, are you there? Darn.
Can you? Come back. Sarah, come back.
I know. Okay.
Oh, here she comes again. Sarah, try turning off your camera. It might make the bandwidth better.
Okay.
There, that might keep you alive longer.
Can you hear us?
Wait, it's not that one.
Okay. Do we want to try this again right now?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to set up.
Oh man. How am I gonna keep my baby quiet? She's like chatting. Okay, thank you. You wanna help play this one too? You can't put the binky in your mouth. You already have it in your mouth. Hmm? Okay. Sorry, that's my let me I gotta figure out what to do with her. You wanna sit on the floor? You wanna go play down here? Look, can you play with the toy? Look, put that over there. Okay, we'll try. All right, Charlie, let me know if you're ready.
All right. We did this. Okay. So
Oh,
back. I think we're just. I will give it a shot. When it's Sarah.
Alright.
okay.
Everybody go ahead and mute your microphones.
Oh, yeah, everybody mute. Yeah, I just need a sec.
Where did Anna go?
I just need a sec. My husband needed to get ice from the ice machine.
You're like.
I like muted.
Okay. I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, we might hear little squats, make noise from the baby, but there's not much I can do about that at this point.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Pakistan Research Group's Roundtable. Today's topic, women's rights. Our panelists are Sarah, Janalee, Charlie, Whitney, and Norman. I am Anna, the moderator of this session. In 7th century Arabia, women had little, if any, rights. Men had as many wives as they wanted, and their wives were seen as property. Daughters were often slaughtered to avoid another mouth to feed during scarcity. Oh my goodness, I gotta start over, sorry. I got distracted.
In a second.
All
right, just a second.
He like looking at my kid and looking back and forth. I gotta just not do that. She's like standing, patting me on the leg.
So I don't think she's as loud as you think she is. So don't worry about her too much.
Okay.
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 All right, I'm ready when you are.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Pakistan Research Group Roundtable. Today's topic, women's rights. Our panelists are Sarah, Jana Lee, Charlie, Whitney, and Norman. I am Anna, the moderator of this discussion. In 7th century Arabia, women had little, if any, rights. Men had as many wives as they wanted, and their wives were seen as property. Daughters were often slaughtered to avoid another mouth to feed during scarcity. Muhammad's writings and example changed all that. In early Islam, women played an important role and were given many rights. Muhammad's first wife, Khadijah, was the first Muslim convert and was treated as an equal. During her life, she was his only wife. Muhammad subsequently married only one woman who was not a widow, Aisha. Fatima, one of Muhammad's 4 daughters, is still a very revered woman in Islam. More recently, Benazir Bhutto was elected as the first female prime minister of Pakistan. Islam is an enormous part of the day-to-day life of Pakistanis, and Pakistani culture relies heavily on its influence. Charlie, how does Sharia law limit the rights of women in the Islamic State of Pakistan?
Sharia law covers virtually every aspect of a Muslim's life, and there are very restrictive areas pertaining to women. Under Sharia, women may only have one husband. He may have up to 4 wives. In marriage, she is submissive to him at all times and has no rights. Wife beating is permitted. Women are denied inheritance. In some places, they are not allowed to drive, and if they are allowed to be out in public, they must be escorted by a specific male, and even that has its limitations. The list goes on. It is because of Islam's extremists, men and women, that Muslim women are to cover and hide themselves in public, and why stricter interpretations are enforced.
Speaking of women, a verse in the Quran says, and the men are a degree above them. Norman, how does a typical man in Pakistan view a woman's role?
The most influential factor for men regarding how they feel about women's rights is their level of religious devotion, with the more devout following a stricter interpretation of the Quran's teachings regarding the roles of women in society and the home. The 2013 Pew Research study was very enlightening into today's views and opinions from men in Pakistan. For instance, 88% of men surveyed mostly or completely agreed with the statement, a wife must always obey her husband. In the same survey, only 23% of Pakistani men felt that a wife should be able to divorce her husband.
Bad timing. You can cut this part out. Sarah, who would you consider to be an influential woman in Pakistan today?
I would consider Malala to be an influential woman because she refused to let the door of opportunity shut to women in Pakistan. She fought for the right to education.
Did we lose her?
Yeah, I think we lost Sarah on that.
Sorry about little Miss Screamy Pants.
It's fine. I've been there anyway, so I can leave.
Yeah, it's 12:15. She's never awake right now. She's usually cuddling with mommy in bed, so it's a little rough.
All right, so, well, here's the thing. So we, I think we have the script done. Like, I think we're good to turn this in for Saturday. Right? Saturday's due date.
I agree.
Okay. And when do we need to have the audio portion of it turned in? Do we know?
Not for 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks
So-
next Saturday.
Since we're struggling with the recording tonight, maybe I guess we should just do it another night when maybe connection's better.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. Guys
then
feel.
we do need to consider Sarah because I know she's sacrificing middle of the night sleep for tonight.
That's true.
I don't know if she'll be willing to do this again for Tuesday night.
Okay, since the recording has not been successful, I'll try and get connected.
Okay.
What did you say, Sarah?
As I since the recording has not been so cool, I'll try and get connected on Saturday. So we
Okay.
could record again.
Okay, so you said you can go ahead and do it on Saturday?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I won't have my kids on Saturday at that time. So,
So the advantage to that is that we should be able, assuming technology cooperates, we should be able to meet and be done very, very quickly. Right?
right.
But is there any possibility of changing the time?
What time
Like to
works?
be the same
Yeah.
time? What time is it there?
Well, so on Saturday, we talked about meeting at 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So what time is that for, what is the time difference from Idaho time for you?
I think that makes it 9 o'clock in the evening for Sarah.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Sarah, what time is it now? Where you're at?
It's now 4:18 a.m.
Again?
It's now
4:18 a.m.
4:18.
a.m.
Okay.
So 4 hours ahead
Well,
of me. That
12,
means 10 o'clock at night.
12 noon is 6 p.m. in Ghana.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's true. 6. Yeah.
Does 6 p.m. on Saturday work for you, Sarah?
Yeah, it's a work for me, sure.
Is that a yes?
So basically, we
Yes.
keep the time the same. It is 12 o'clock for us, and it is, or Mountain Standard Time, and it is 6 o'clock for Sarah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that okay, Sarah?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Then we will do that on Saturday, and I think at most it should take us 15 minutes. That gives, I think that assuming the technology works, that we should be able to run through it once or twice and be done. And then any conversation that we need to have, we can have via email or, at the Tuesday night meeting, of course, without Sarah, because we won't ask her to meet at 3 o'clock in the morning anymore. But I think Saturday we should just record and then be done.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Charlie,
Yes,
save
sir.
that next to last recording that was like 5 minutes and 40 seconds, just in case we have glitches on Saturday or something like that. I think that one was acceptable.
Okay.
Just save it as a backup.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Sure. Okay.
Does anybody want this recording?
No.
Okay. I won't post it then.
Okay. All right. See you guys Saturday.
Okay.
Alright, bye guys.
Bye.
Night.
Hey, whoever's left, can you hear me? I have a
Yeah, I can
question.
hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm wondering if everyone is okay with me typing this up to turn in.
Yeah, if you want to.
Oh, if I want to.
Yeah, what do you mean by typing it up and turning it in?
You know how Norman cleaned up
Reformatting the text.
Norman cleaned up my biography.
Bibliography? I say go for it.
Bibliography, sorry. I'm tired. What can I say?
Very good.
I'm creating a Google meeting remindery thingy with the right time, just to send out to everybody. I just have to figure out how to do it.
Well, I'll just wait and not do it because there wasn't a unanimous consensus and understanding.
No, I say do it. Definitely do it. I agree. Okay.
Yeah, you
Or
don't need
I'll
everyone's
do it.
consent to do that.
All right. Well,
You
I'll
can
just
go
do it
ahead.
right
Whoever
now.
sends it out first wins.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed right now, though, so it will not be me.
Okay. When I type it up, which I'll go ahead and do right now. Do you think I should go ahead and put people's names there?
I think yes, since it's the script.
Okay.
Yeah, and the teacher will know who it is.
Yeah, who's speaking. You probably.
Okay.
I don't think you have to put first and last name, but you
Do
could
you
if you
want
want.
me to put a paragraph, Anna, after your second paragraph, after scarcity? Do you want there to be a double space there?
Um.
Or do you want it to stay the way it was?
Oh,
I mean,
you
do
can
you
put
want
another. Yeah,
you
you
want me
can.
to?
Yeah.
Okay. All
Actually,
right.
there's. Um.
And then, as far as the bibliography, do I add your link at the bottom to our bibliography and attach the bibliography to this script? Even though we.
Yeah, and then I think we'll each have to go through and delete out the ones we didn't use that were our own, just to make sure we're not citing works we didn't cite. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So everybody will need to just like, oh wait, I didn't use that, and we'll delete it. So we just want to make sure we keep in only the ones we use. So when you send it all out, then if anybody says, oh, I didn't do this one, just delete it, and we can send out a final copy on Friday so that everybody can hand it in.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for doing that.
Well, then maybe I should keep the bibliography doc up for people to
Edit.
edit, or
Um,
or
let's make Norman do that part, the bibliography, since he put that other document together.
okay.
Or should we just edit it off of that one? I don't really know. Email about that. Let's let somebody else make that decision.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
say, hey Norman, do you want to do the bibliography? Problem solved. Okay, I really gotta go though. It's 12:44.
Okay. Good night.
Yeah.
Bye guys.
Okay. Night.